Good day, everybody. Welcome to FMA discussion. This is episode 347, and tonight we're going to cover the remaining 100, which, to be honest with you folks, I should have just did in the first place. When I did Tuesday night, Tuesday in the afternoon, I was hemming and hawing whether or not just to do a top 100, and come to be, that's essentially what I'm doing. So we covered the first 50, alphabetical order. We're doing the next 50, and also I will go in alphabetical order. So also joining me tonight, who joined me the first time, and it's very nice of him, he's a busy man, and I appreciate him taking the time, is Guru Paulo. And here is.
Wait, I can't see me. Oh, here we go.
So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dean, thanks for the title shout out. It's technically Lakan Guru, which is like beginner.
Lakan Guru.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. So in PTK, there's Guru after you've done the Lakan Guru. So not really.
Oh, okay. So just
or Grandmaster, either
okay.
or.
All right. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, as I mentioned, the test run for folks who might have not seen the test run thus far, the feedback was very positive on the first episode. People were generally happy that there was dialogue and that we had folks to honor for their commitment to the community and what they gave. And overall, positive. I did, a couple here and there, but overall, I can honestly say the feedback was folks were happy, and they were happy that this was tackled. And so we're going to run with it. And I think tonight we'll give similar feedback, in my opinion.
Yeah. So here's the rest. No, I'm just kidding.
Here's the rest. And if you're watching, tell us where you're watching from, smash that like button, and we're going to get started. So again, kind of like the first time, I'm going to kind of give a sentence or two about the person, why I chose them. And if you recall, I basically utilized kind of four modes. One was Bram Frank's book. I referenced two of people that I actually had contact with, word of mouth, and interviews. Those are basically my sources now, again, even though I increased it to 100, there are still some folks I had to wrestle over. And so by no means was this easy. And I hope folks see that I try to be objective as humanly possible. Obviously, we already covered that there is an aspect of subjectivity. How can there not be? People that you touch hand with that have influenced you, you're going to put them there. That's kind of hard. So
yes, sir.
Before I jump off, any thoughts, Lakangu Paulo?
As we discussed earlier in the test run, for anyone listening right now, I would like for you to write down who you feel would be in your personal top 10 or your top 50 or your top 100. Try to make it so it's not, somebody that we might all know, because I think a part of this process, a great part of this process is getting to explore some names and people that we may not already know. So maybe some folks that may not have a big group or a big social media following or an international, somebody local maybe that just made a big impact on your Filipino martial arts journey. I'd love to hear about those.
Yeah. So would I, because there might be folks that perhaps I didn't hear about and I should have been given consideration. And also, before you just mention, hey, he should be in the top 20, this guy, please give some rationale why, instead of just making a blanket statement. All right, let's kick it off. First, Greg Alland.
I don't know much about him.
Okay, definitely part of the old New York group. Was the actual, so there was the late 70s group, which I'm referencing, Bill McGrath, Chris Sayoc, Carl Atanza's father, Butch Atanza, Tom Bizio, and Greg Alland was a kind of part of that whole group. Actually, they also had, I don't recall the name, but it was part of a Philippine embassy. But at any rate, Greg Alland apparently was the treasurer. So very
Cool.
impactful in the community in that during that time. But also, did creating his own system, Nikita Turja, highly regarded. Unfortunately, passed a couple of years ago. Sad, but definitely worthy of choice. Yeah.
Shout out. I've heard of him. I've heard good things. I don't know much about him. So,
Yeah.
by the way, Eric, Chad, and Brian, what's up, homies?
Hey.
You there? Naples, Florida, Miami, Brian, Kanata.
Oh,
cool.
Eric O'Brien, going to Guru Chad's camp. I'm just waiting to hear what it is, so I might need a bed. So, like last year. So, keep that in mind. Next, he kind of formed his own system and all that from his father. I was part of that. I heard actually way back. I was the Connecticut rep for that system, and that's Carl Atienza.
Cool.
Kind of what's significant here is that in the early 2000s, when SEAC was coming out to the forefront, the Atienzas were kind of reclusive, kind of backyard. They didn't come out into the public. And by Chris Sayak's recommendation, he advocated that they do, and hence they did. And I think they went public officially. I think it was like 2001 or something. And they really focused on the blade. And again, for the time frame I'm talking about, that wasn't really stressed back then, as is what you're seeing today.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were kind of revolutionary, sort of speak along the SACs during that time. So Carl Atienza.
Right on. Yeah, I've heard good things. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
They all dress in black and go up in the mountains and
he
hunt wolves
and he travels all around. Matter of fact, we were going to meet each other. He was coming to Connecticut, and then COVID kicked it. And,
that's too bad.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that we will cross paths again.
From what I've seen from Carl, real quick, is that he does that multiple attacker thing, which is cool.
So their system is based on multiple attack, correct? And so the sort, per him, way back in the day, is that they lived in Jamaica, Queens, a very bad section when they were there, and when they went to school, they, I guess, frequently were into encounters, fights, what have you, and so their system was based on multi-attack with weapons. Now, it could have been steel pipe, rock and sock, what they called specialty weapons, and I got to be honest with you, that was some of the neatest material. Yeah,
that's very cool. I think, in my personal opinion, all Filipino martial arts is based on multiple attackers, on the assumption that the attacker is armed and that there's more than one. But I think when you really heighten and like enhance it and really focus on it, and that's what you choose, then that's a good thing. It's a differentiation. But my personal opinion, all FMA assumes that your attacker is armed and that there's more than one.
And there's one.
Yeah. Cool.
So somebody we spoke on today, who I decided to put in there because he did create his own system, GAT, and that is GM Bundio Bayet. So
yes, yeah.
Why don't you know more about him than I? So what can you say on
him? He's got a really good heart. He really cares about the perpetuation of the legacy of the Laguna-based systems. And the GAT system is very much based on measure, right? They're famous for their bench fighting, which I think is really awesome. I can't wait to participate in that.
Oh, that does look fun. Yeah.
They're on a bench, and then it's a highly sophisticated system from my estimation.
Yeah.
And they seem to have a lot of fun. And what I know about Abundio is that he really, really cares about his community. So that's such a huge thing. Like, he loves his students. He really cares for them, and he really tries to cultivate a family culture within his system. So that's what I know. I know he's got a good heart, and he's. I met him one time, and he does Hilot as well, which is that mystical massage stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
You've heard of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I think to prove that he's good at that, he tried to break my wrist.
Oops.
He's like, he overcranked it. I'm like, dang. And then he's like, watch this. And then he started massaging it. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. Still hurts, but
yeah.
I thought it was actually a great experience.
No, that's neat that I didn't realize he did that as well. I know he's a chef, and I know sometimes
he's an artist. Yeah, absolutely.
You have to kind of he can come across the wrong way that I've heard. But I definitely have heard good things about him as well.
I just think he wears his heart on his sleeve, and
Mm,
because he really cares about, how it is with students and masters, and there's a really good thing about having a culture of family within your Filipino
mm,
martial arts system, but then you kind of take the good with the bad. Sometimes family members can be a little bit harsh with one another, a little bit dramatic with one another. They just, because it's that comfort level,
yeah.
right? So I mean, nothing but positive things to say about Abundio, but sometimes I read his posts and I'm like, oh my god, he's mad at
Yeah.
somebody again.
No, I
But
remember
then,
some of them back in the day in FMA discussion. Now his posts are great. No issue. But early on, some of his
yeah,
posts were,
well, because when he gets challenged, and again, this is the family thing.
mm,
If people are skeptical of a technique, a tactic, or a concept, and you kind of take it to heart,
mm,
and I get it, I understand. And not all of us were born during the renaissance and advent of social media. So,
right.
and also things come across the wrong way in text, but overall he's got a good heart. He loves his students. He's dedicated and passionate to the Filipino martial arts, and he spent a lifetime promoting it. Absolutely deserves to be on the in my opinion.
Yeah, he created his own
Yeah.
system, and yeah, 100% meets the criteria. And folks, if you don't recall or you didn't see the first episode, here
Mm.
is the criteria. So we have ability, creator, leader, promoting, teaching, creating lineage, inspiration, reputation, historical source, legendary, innovator, and last but not least, role model. So those
Cool.
are the kind of the criteria I've used. Of course, not all of them have every single one, you know,
Yeah. Some will
but
apply more than others. That's
yeah.
normal.
Okay, next, this is a
Yeah.
guy I'm choosing. Early on, I noticed something about him when I had him on. Gosh, it's probably like 2 years ago, and had him on subsequently on a on an episode maybe about a year ago. But initial episode I think was actually 2 or so years ago, and he's somebody that brings different styles together, and that really speaks to me. Yeah, I don't care again that you don't have the title of master or Tuhan or GM, but if you were bringing folks together and you are exposing
Hmm.
people to different systems, that means you are perpetuating arts. You're
Yeah.
inspiring people. You
Yeah.
know, you were creating further lineage and all that. And that's Guru Chad Bailey. He runs these camps and he lets people come there. He gives a couple slots to teach. Um, I just think it's really neat. And again, that really, really speaks to me when folks do that, when they make others inclusive. I just think that is just so great. I think more and more folks, and what I'm seeing is more and more folks are going to be doing it. I think, and I think my co-host
And it's just me.
is
Did I
frozen. Oh,
sh-
you didn't freeze. Oh, okay. You look frozen.
oh,
Oh, you're back. You're
oh,
back. You're back. You were
there.
kind
You're
of
back
stuck.
too. You're back too. It says connection is unstable. I wonder why. Oh, you know what? I'm actually, no, this will end soon. I think the instability is coming from my side. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, your pick's clear now. Okay.
You were mentioning Chad? Is it Chad?
Guru Chad Bailey, and
Yeah.
again, what I was saying was how he brings all these different people together in his camp, different styles and stuff, and that just really speaks to me. People get an
Yeah.
opportunity to
Huge.
showcase what they're doing. It's inspiring to me. I think more. As a matter of fact, my personal belief, you're going to see more and more that folks are doing this, and the ones who don't do it, I think are going to be missing out. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
So I think
Cool.
this is going to be
I
a
agree.
new kind of not a new thing that's just going to grow and grow. All right.
It's a good time to be in
Next,
Filipino martial arts. Just a reminder for the guys just joining
I
us or
think
you're dropping
so.
in and out. Write down somebody influential. We can show them some love.
Yeah, we
Brian
got
Canada, GM Bandalan. No, I don't know. No, I didn't know. I
yeah.
don't
I
know who GM
never
Bandalan is.
never heard. No, I
Never heard
haven't.
of him. GM
Huh.
Bandalan. Never heard of him. Wicked.
New one.
There's somebody.
Yeah.
All right. So after Chad Bailey, who else you
We
got?
got where we had who should have been in the first part, the second part, Ron Balicki.
Yeah, Guru
So
Ron.
you touched hands with Ron
I
Balicki.
did.
So,
I
yeah.
did. Yeah, that was towards the very beginning of my Filipino martial arts journey.
Okay.
And I had a really positive experience. You know, he was so generous along with I was in LA, and it was, Ron and Diana just really introducing me to some things that I completely, I mean, let me tell you, there was my one takeaway from and they taught me a lot, and I had to revisit that
Yeah.
to give it, and I have in the past, but I want to revisit it given what I know now. But the one thing that I took away was the duck under option for a stalemate position, right?
The Mako, you go under.
Yeah, going under. So that wrestling move to take the flank or to control the weapon bearing limb. I've seen that over and over since, and that's the one thing that stuck with me then at the beginning. But just incredibly generous. You know what I mean? Just super generous people, and obviously love the Filipino martial arts. They're, obviously in the whole Inasanto ecosystem, the core of the Inasanto ecosystem. So yeah, just beautiful ambassadors of the Filipino martial arts, and by extension, the way that they train stuntmen and promote
The whole
Filipino martial arts
film
through film.
industry.
Come on.
Yeah, the both of them. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And the other reason I picked him is he's part of the original 25 backyard group of Lameko. And I just find those guys special. I mean, and he was one of them. And that move that you just referenced is probably the best one that comes out of that position, I find. And
yeah, stalemate resolution. You got that duck under the shin strip. And there's a whole bunch of other crossy army stuff, but I mean those
I never pulled any of it off. You know what the follow up to the duck under is if you get countered?
If somebody tries to counter my duck under,
they counter that. The thing is that you just drop straight down, knife into the foot.
Okay.
That's the way it was given to me from the pure context of a limit.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right. Next, a legend. Again, this guy arguably should have been maybe my first 50, but nevertheless, he's in it. Tom Biggio.
Yeah, Tom Biggio.
I mean, just legendary. Went over the Philippines at age 19. Guy brought him over there and basically
smashed a bunch of Filipinos and won.
Did you ever watch any of those fights?
I did. Yeah, I did.
The size discrepancy was
yeah, it was crazy.
It was just like knock knock.
It was like Gargamel smashing Smurfs. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, but and not only that though, he's somebody too. Most people probably know this. While he was training, obviously PTK with the guy, he also, by virtue being over the Philippines, met Mamoy Canetti and really went into San Miguel Eskrima and was one of the few to teach it over here. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can teach it. Matter of fact,
very cool.
The one time I met him, I really wanted to go just to talk about the late 70s crew. But I figured, okay, I'm going to have to go to the seminar. And I couldn't play it any better. I'm waiting in the parking lot. And who comes walking across with a Dunkin' Donuts bag early? Yeah. Tom Biggio. And I'm like, man, this is, and of course, this is pre-recording or social media, but I do remember the conversation. He was so pleasant, down to earth, very giving and sharing of those times and all that. It was just really a wonderful guy. It's just too bad he's really into the Chinese medicine now. And, but
I mean, good for him. I mean, he's following his passion.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Next, this guy came fairly touted. Was recommended to me, and Tuhan Leslie Buck, PTK.
Yes. Yeah. What I know about him is that he's a very articulate and intelligent instructor. So I watched
when he was interviewed.
Yeah. I've seen some of his videos. Smart. Seems like a very articulate person.
Seems well liked. He comes across very pleasant. Julius interviewed him back, and I thought he articulated well. And so
I've seen some of his writing as well. I won't say from who, but it's logical. It's logical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Very
next,
well organized. Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, Ted Boyd. So
The
Balintawak,
gangsta. Yeah.
non where they his system was basically where no groupings.
Which I resonate with.
Yeah, and so Tim Hartman did a lot of time with them. David Hatch, Linda Hatch, some other
Yeah.
folks, but I guess no grouping.
If I'm thinking about the same guy, that guy looks so gangster. Like he always wore these like bi-colored shades, or the shades with a gradient, like the old school people wore.
Yeah, that's probably so. You have Ted and his son Sam. Sam was the one that was actually teaching here in the States,
Okay.
I believe. Somebody
Anyway,
can correct me on that, but they probably were both gangsters.
there's by the way, speaking of Balintawak, there are so many different factions of Balintawak that we don't ever get to hear about. I saw one. There's like an Askal Balintawak or something. They do some like really, really cool stuff. I like the grouping system for what it is and what GM Bobby has done.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, it's not for me, but there are enough people that I respect that really, really believe in it.
Are doing it and like it.
Yeah. But I love Balintawak concepts without the grouping systems.
Apparently, this is something he made him very unique. That
it's just dirty. It doesn't look as pretty. You know what I mean? It doesn't look as crisp and as smooth because you're really just going off of in close quarters, which is what Balintawak is, specialized in. It's gonna be a scrap if you don't have a pattern or a grouping system to help navigate you through the various potentials for close quarters exchanges. Yeah. Renee Kokolo, I prefer Balinta run.
The Wing Chun of stick fighting.
Yeah.
Next, GM Richard Bastillo. Really perfection. I mean, not only the Asano blend, but really Kakoi system, Dos Paris. They were, once they had a school together, when they kind of split schools,
yeah.
GM Bastillo really went on, heavily into Kakoi, direction. Beloved, and I was supposed to actually get certified by him in JKD and Dos Paris. I declined.
Very cool. Yeah. It was unfortunate that it was again. I'm not quite sure when he passed away. I just remember one day waking up and all of these people were just expressing their grief and sadness. And at that time, I really didn't know who he was, and so I looked into him and I'm like, oh my God, holy smokes.
Yeah, original Bruce Lee student.
What an ambassador, what a contributor. And he was big into boxing too. I believe he had a boxing based gym.
Huge into boxing. And matter of fact, what people understand is he was also him and Dan Asano were the first ones to get instructorship from Leo Harone. You know what I mean? They went there, traveled together, awesome. Trained. So really well beloved. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, shout out from Alvin. Appreciate learning from my teacher, Tuhan Brandon Jordan. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, Tuhan Brandon Jordan. I've had a few exchanges with him as well.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great guy. Yeah. Huge fan.
Is he not also like a very opinionated truth teller kind of dude as well? Or am I thinking about somebody else?
Maybe somebody else. I mean, Grant, I haven't had a lot of it. He's been on a show a few times. I thought he came involved, but I could be wrong.
Okay, gotcha. Audie Miller thinks, I understand Balintawak is about control. Well, I wouldn't say Balintawak is about control, but in GM Bobby's Balintawak system, control is highly regarded because they're going at such furious speeds that if you don't have control, then you're risking your training partner's well-being. Justin watching from the toilet. Brian Rodriguez, what's up, bro?
Well, I want to thank you, Justin, for the visual. And we got next Vincent Cambalis, the son of the great late Angel. The reason I'm choosing it, and I hope he does this, I hope he really comes out in the forefront and brings back. Cambalis is a pretty heated world. And the reason why I know this is from the interviews. I would never know how just contentious and the politics had it not been for the interviews, but it's pretty bad. It's really bad, actually.
Yeah.
PTK gets all the fame in that, but I tell you, Cabales is right up there. And I'm hoping Vincent really rises to the occasion and kind of takes over and brings back some unity. I'm really hoping.
Does he not do Filipino martial arts these days, or he just?
From what I understand, he is. I've been talking to Nick Merchant. Matter of fact, he's supposed to be coming on the show very soon. And
Cool.
And it's supposed to be, and he's still active, but I guess just kind of low key. But because of what's going on, I hear wants to get back in the forefront. So I'm hoping
that's interesting.
Because
that's interesting. Yeah, I know the Serrata community, is
oh man, it's
pretty fighty within each other.
Oh yeah, one of them tried to get my show off the channel because his name was mentioned, and oh yeah,
what?
He lost. He lost terribly to me.
We're gonna have to talk about this guy. Try to get your
and
show
then
off the air.
Divide and Conquer with one of my moderators. Oh yeah.
How childish! How childish, man!
You know.
I do.
Oh yeah, comes across a whole facade. Oh yeah, makes me sick. Yep. Very few people that bring that out in me.
I know, Dean. Okay, let's get back. Take a deep breath to get back into the positive side. So about positivity.
I'm telling you. Yeah, Philemon, Mamoy Canetti, San Miguel.
Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously goes without saying, creative system San Miguel. It's not just a stick. I mean, there's long and short. Pretty elegant system. The way Tom Bizio showed it, it was pretty elegant. Okay, I'm gonna have you speak on this because I'm thinking you might touch hands with him and had some time with him. Ray Dianaldo.
Yeah, Tuhan Ray. Tuhan Ray is incredible. I haven't the only time I touched hands with Tuhan Ray. I don't like sarong. I don't like sarong work. I'm not a big fan of it. And then I met Tuhan Ray, and I was like, I think I like it now. His sarong work is incredible. And I was with Lakan Guru Ernie Lake and Tuhan Jared in Atlanta. And I just felt the way he cinches up. It's not just that. If you had all the time in the world, you can take any fabric and choke somebody out. But his ability to deploy, control, and then cinch to I've never felt so much pain. So, but little trivia here: the first Filipino martial arts video I ever made was of Tuhan Ray's DVD. When he came to Toronto many years ago, there is a gentleman by the name of Sean Tyler and Anthony Reyes who introduced me and showed me all this footage, and he's like, "Oh, can you edit this?" And I edited it. Didn't know what it was, but it looked cool. So nice. Of all the Filipino martial arts videos I've ever edited, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, the first one I ever did was Tuhan Ray Dianaldo.
Wow.
Also, worth noting, what I know about Tuhan Ray, he loves his family. He loves his, and he really cares about his community. I'll just share a quick story here. In anytime I've been in a seminar when Tuhan Ray was there, he just makes sure that his people are doing good even after the event, and he's friends with them. He's there for them in their private lives when they need him. Just a great human being. And absolutely skilled. He loves the Filipino martial arts, and he integrates different systems very, very well. Yeah. And he's an innovator. He's a true innovator.
No, I mean,
big fan, Tuhan Ray. Yeah.
This guy I chose because no social media presence, unfortunately, sadly, and he is the true heir of the late great Tony Dago. He lives in Canada, and that's Master Tommy Dai. Incredible guy, incredible. And he teaches up there. He's out in the far west,
Yeah, West Coast.
kind of
Yeah.
like above Washington. That group out there. You got Louis Lindo, Casey. You know what I mean? It's quite a group out there. But his movement, and he does teach and he does grow it out there. Unfortunately, he was doing some seminars. He was trying to travel around, I guess pre-COVID, unfortunately, but it was coming to Maryland. But just absolutely incredible. If you ever get the chance to see footage of him, you can watch one footage. I think it's circulating around on YouTube or here on Facebook, but it's basically Arnold Narzo feeding him. And you got to really pay attention to how Tommy Dye takes up the space and shortens up and starts really pushing. Just check it out. It's really interesting to see what started out initially here and what got closed. Check it out if you can find it. Yeah.
I've heard of him. You're not the first person to recommend him to me to check him out. Just never really had the opportunity.
Yeah,
but yeah,
unbelievable.
Copy.
This guy, he's out in California. He might be the oldest living legend alive. He's in his 90s, and that's GM Romero Estilia. Just incredible. Guy who did all weapons and all that. But I mean, we've been trying to get him on, but you have to coordinate through his daughter, unfortunately. So there's some stuff going on there. But an old time great. I talked to him on the phone. It was really, really neat, inspiring, and but legendary. I mean, just early 90s, I want to say. Lives in California with the daughter. Just yeah.
What's his name again?
Romero Estilia.
Okay. Yeah. Never. Doesn't even sound familiar. So that's great. That's another one that I can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, if you're in California, folks, I know him. Next, he lives in Australia. A lot of coverage back in the day with interviews and articles. Modernese. He was also really affiliated with Master Christopher Ricketts. Just brought FMA to the forefront. Did a lot of interviews before social media, and that's David Fogarty. Anybody knows about the past of what as far as coverage goes, David Fogarty was so instrumental in that area. Has just so much content on interviews and all that. And one day he says he will be releasing some. So
awesome. Yeah, never heard of him. Oh, sorry, not I have. Is it David? David Fogarty? Fogarty. I've heard of him.
Yeah,
and good things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Next is this guy does yearly campouts. They're really fun. Also, he was the kind of there teaches under kind of the air, so to speak, under and perpetuates the system of Lanata Screama. Lives in New Hampshire. Really fun. Trained a bunch of guys and all that. Peter Friedman, but really fun guy, talented guy. And the nice thing about it is that he invites everybody up to his camp. They can stay there, camp out, eat, train, show your stuff. Just a fun-loving guy, and skilled at that too, and perpetuating the arts.
Nice.
Next is Master Spencer G. He is basically the heir of the Armonte Marina system. If you guys recall, I covered GM Armonte last session on the first episode. Spencer G just did a quick bit, so you can check him out on YouTube and you can actually see it. But he basically is the one that's solely kind of perpetuating the art of Armonte Marinas. And so he's doing a good job at it. We had him on the show. His demos with his students were incredible.
Right on. Yeah, I've never not heard of either the man nor the system. You're showing up as frozen on my screen again, Dean. Can you hear me okay? Or am I frozen?
No, you're not
frozen.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting like connection is unstable, and the thing that I was doing that could have made it unstable is finished. So very strange, very weird. Renee Kokolo, after making several terrible puns, like how can something so wrong be so right? he
He's funny. He's a
he
good
should be
guy.
on this list, man. That guy's pretty
I want to
gangster
get him on the
himself.
show. I want to bring him on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And yeah. He needs to come on
Too
the
bad
show.
he's not opinionated or anything like that.
No, too bad. When he comes on Tim Harvey, yeah.
He says another Toronto legend was June De
June De
Leon.
Leon, we tried to get him
Straight
on.
up.
He wouldn't come on.
Yeah,
We tried. All right, I'm gonna have
Well,
you speak on this guy
uh,
because you actually I've had him on a show, but I'm guessing you've met him, spoke to him, trained with him. Tuan Philip Julinus.
never heard of her. Just kidding. Dion Phillip's a gangster, founding member of the legendary
Sled
Dog
Dog,
Brother.
right?
Yeah, Sled Dog. Yeah, that dude, he was over 60 years old, and I saw him spar and wreck some dudes. Tuhan Phillip is a gem, right? Like he's absolutely amazing. I love Tuhan Phillip. Had some beers with him in the Philippines. He's still learning Pikiti Tersha Kali. Like he tells me stories about how he met this person and they showed him Juego Tirada, and it was like he is a huge piece of the Pikiti Tersha puzzle. Because as far as I know, like he's never disaffiliated himself with GT.
No,
And
I think he's the only one left.
Yeah, and you know what I love about Tuhan Phillip is like he would tell me these stories, right? Where some guy casts a spell on him, and it's supposed to give him powers, and then he went to go fight somebody, and then he would be like, Paulo, I swear he was moving in slow motion and I was hitting him. And I'm like, you believe in that crap? And he's like, no, but he was moving in slow motion. My point in telling this is Tuhan Phil really does balance the art, the sophistication, the acquisition of knowledge, and the elaboration and even some of the mysticism of Pikiti Tersha, while still maintaining 1 foot firmly on the practical, the gross motor, the shit that works when you got to fight somebody. So that's why I love Tuhan. And yeah, he still fights in his 60s. No excuses.
Yeah, good on him.
No excuses.
That's awesome.
I'm so proud that he's Canadian, and I'm just every time I get to spend time with him, it's just, and he's got like the driest sense of humor. Like he could be talking for all of 10 minutes, just setting you up for some kind of joke.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's amazing guy. Amazing.
Yeah, guy. My God. Yeah. Oh, Guru Ramon, I'm sure that is the video I just referenced. Yeah, if you know where folks can get access to it, I mean, that's just amazing video. Yeah, let me know, please, and thank you for commenting on that. Next, Hakeem.
Did you say Hakeem or Hawk? The gringo. No? Hakeem?
Hakeem, yeah.
Hawk.
I wanted to see Hakeem Elijah.
Force necessary guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. Super logical, super intelligent, law enforcement trainer. So he really he's able to delineate art from function without necessarily abandoning one or the other. Just a smart guy.
Yeah.
Hawk's the real deal, man.
Yeah, I agree. And what he's done with the fusion of the law enforcement aspect with the weapons, he was a pioneer in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
baton work.
Absolutely. I can share the link. Thank you so much, Guru. I appreciate that. Really.
Awesome.
Okay. The founder system, Mike and I. So Jay and I was just, we interviewed him I think it was less than a month ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, but basically the NI system, and Mike was the founder. Jay's still alive, doing well. And they were big in Europe back in the day, really pushing FMA in Europe, along with Munner and Nice. Definitely somebody that, in my opinion, is worthy of being in this list. Um,
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Next, also, she was just on very recently, and folks, if you watch her move and the stuff she does, just such a great role model for young females getting into the art. And that's Jinalyn Jadia. We just had her on. Matter of fact,
Who?
Jinalyn. Here, I'll show you the pic. Oh my gosh, where's the book? Where's the book?
And he's wearing jogging pants.
Yeah, we just had her on, and just a great role model. All right, let me find her.
Yeah, Justin, we mentioned 200 on the first 50, I believe.
Is that now? Did you say? Oh yeah, he was right. First episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, just bear with me. That's coming up. But yeah, just a really pleasant. Here we go. So, Jinlin Jadia. Guys, see that okay?
Yeah, I can see. I'm not familiar.
Yeah,
there's so much I don't know.
Really perpetuates the arts over there. Again, spreading it to the youth. Just a great role model. All right.
Fantastic.
Michael Janik, Mastercraft, his own knife system, heavily with knife making, really was instrumental in Spyderco spreading. Really neat knife system, advocates, which I think FMA as a whole could do better, damage control. Said, you're going to do a template on somebody and think that's going to be okay, but all right. And he really goes into that, like the exit. So somebody I had on, I really appreciated what he spoke on and that. And so Michael Janik is on.
Yeah, I met him one time at Blade Show. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a very switched on and logical person as well, which is good. Yeah.
It's Dean's second skin. What's Brian saying?
I know, because when you stood up, maybe you didn't hear me. I'm like, you're wearing jogging
pants? The jog. Oh my gosh. We can't be talking about those jogging pants. Right.
I'm wearing jogging pants too right now. Pajama jogging pants. Yeah.
Think. On behalf of everybody, I'd like to thank Mr. Franco for wearing the I watch that like once a week. Oh my god, what the hell's wrong with me?
God. All right, who's next?
Next, Brandon Jordan. Great guy. Really spreading the system over there. Really highly regarded. He's under I think GM Dan Medina, and I know he trains some other stuff, but just a pleasant guy, just great for the community, just somebody, he's just really neat, and he's obviously a great practitioner as well, And Alvin, awesome. Matter of fact, Maestro Alvin made reference. That's the guy Maestro Alvin made reference to.
Yeah. I think I've had some conversations with you on Brandon Jordan as well.
Yeah, no, great guy.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, I just thought of somebody.
Who's that?
Oh no, I forgot. Go ahead. You go.
Okay. Next, like I talk to this guy every 3 weeks or so. He's kind of low key. Not only doesn't he train in several systems, was in California, moved back to the Philippines, really doing a lot historical work, just great stuff he's doing. And I hope some of the stuff he'll actually will show people what he's working on. Really knowledgeable in blades, spreading art over there. Elric Jundas.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, and his brother too.
Franz.
Yeah. Elric more is in the limelight, but I know these guys are so dedicated.
Just again,
martial arts. Great guys.
I just hope he will actually showcase what he's been doing. That's all. But if you knew it, and just in conversation with him, just incredible his knowledge.
Yep.
It's so interesting talking to him. It's just
Yeah.
Next,
And he's got that he lived in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And then he's in the Philippines, so he's got a very unique perspective. So,
I think so.
And a smart guy. Smart
guy. Absolutely. All the above.
If you notice, I'm really into intelligence and logic. Like that's anybody who fits those two, I would put him on my list.
Oh, it's such a pleasure talking with him, man. It's a breath of fresh air. It really is. Next, I don't know if you ever met this guy. We tried getting him on, but we've had some difficulty getting him on. James Keating. Mr. Bowie Knife, Anason Blend, among some other stuff, his own system. Highly. Kelly Warden speaks incredibly highly of him, as well as others. And, Monty Paolunia, everybody's talked to that has a connection with him or has trained with him or touched hands, nothing but accolades. Just, incredible.
Yeah, seems like a very knowledgeable dude.
Yeah.
Apparently doesn't like me.
Oh no. Well, he just he just.
No, I don't know if he does. That's what I heard. It's probably true, but he's I think I've read maybe either an article of his or an article about him. Seems like a very straightforward kind of guy. You know what I mean?
That's right here.
He's got that kind of renegade cowboy biker gang
type
of sensibility.
Lives on a ranch.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, that perspective, that kind of perspective, I appreciate across the board. You know what I mean? It's that no nonsense, get to the point, don't bullshit me, kind of just straight up kind of.
I talked to him on the phone one time, and that was pretty much it.
It was like that. So I was right. My estimation is
100%. And I'm just in there
let's skip the small talk kind of guy.
He was saying things I could imagine saying, Paulo.
I mean, I love that kind of vibe in people, and typically when I meet with those kinds of people, we get along.
But great. I mean, it was very enjoyable talking to him. Really was.
Yeah. It seems like a gangster.
You probably never heard of this guy, Eric Naus.
Who? Something about dogs.
So here's the thing. As we know that he was a phenomenal stick fighter, but goes so far beyond that. Eric Naus, in a very extensive phone conversation I had with him one time, one of the most enjoyable, and just knowing, part of his days when he was at Columbia in New York City and all that, his work with Tom Biggio, but what he really got folks to think about. Can you block a power strike? Where's your, and all that. I mean, really tapped into that.
Yeah. How good is your payong? How good is your
what I
Rubio?
mean? And but at the same time, so eloquent in the way he moves. If anybody's watched his tapes, just incredible. The power he could generate, but at the same time, the softness on his feet. And many people don't know, or perhaps they do know. I shouldn't say that. Went to Columbia, played Division I lacrosse and football. So he was very used to running around with a stick.
Makes sense, man.
And guess what? He was used to running into people.
That makes sense.
Now you put the two together.
Dean, it's incredible how Filipino martial arts is able to absorb so much of who we are before we run into Filipino martial arts. I love, theater. I love improvisation. And I mentioned the other day that
you did. It was interesting.
I competed in improv at the national level, won the national championship, and so much of my Filipino martial arts is sort of carried on this chassis of improvisation. And so when you mentioned that he played Division I lacrosse, that makes so much sense to me. I believe this is a guy also who has a crazy drop shot, his level change to spring back up. If I'm not mistaken, we're talking about the same guy, but it was one of the Dog brothers anyway, and I don't want to mistake it, but he's got a crazy drop shot.
The drop shot to the power back, two-handed backhand.
Yeah, but he would change levels,
Oh, very
smash
quickly.
you with power, and then
Yeah.
recover and retreat
Yeah,
all
no,
in
no.
one.
Very light on
It-
his feet. Yeah. I got a couple funny stories, and these are directly
oh,
from Burton. So Burton, oh, poor Burton. But I think, shout out, just to Bert for actually being able to tell these stories at the spite of his pain and all that. So Burton says at one time, Air's coming out of a rooftop and his infamous, before you go into the overhook, just wham, number 5 right
oh yeah.
there. Burton says to this day he cannot feel that spot. And God knows how many decades ago.
Yo.
Another thing people don't realize, Eric Nels came up with the fang joke per Burton.
Oh yeah.
He ran
Cool.
into the academy one time and he goes and grabs Burton and he goes, "Hey, I want to show you something." But he's interesting enough from standing.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
got Alec and he wraps around and goes and he put in and he goes, "Hey, and of course, wow, it feels pretty good to tap, of course, and it went to the ground. This is per Burton. I absolutely wasn't there, just sharing the story. So
Yeah. So speaking of the drop shot, as soon as I mentioned it, I had 3 people confirm that that's the same guy.
To the backhand.
Yeah, Renee, Justin, and Jack. They're like, that's the guy. That's the guy with the drop shot.
That's
And
definitely the
Renee
guy.
says he broke 2 of his ribs when we fought. By the way, if you guys stick fight, like your opponent is going to throw the angle 1. You can crash in there with a roof block, and it's a very high percentage to get an overhook on their weapon bearing limb, and you just thrust the crap out of their midsection, and it bends them over. It's a very hard thing. If you're just trying to grab it and stop it, it's a very small window because you're seeing like you're trying to catch that in your midsection as you're getting pummeled. It's a great.
Again.
Yeah.
The fang choke origins are debatable. What's your debate? You gotta come more than that, man. If you're,
no, I can understand why. I mean, maybe,
but,
there's a lot
again,
of.
I'm just sharing you what Burton shared with me. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Are you calling my master a liar?
No.
Oh man.
All
Yeah.
Right. Next,
Right.
and we spoke on today, GM Dieter Noodle.
Oh, there we go.
Where he's spreading around in Germany, man. Yeah. Do you know how many students he's got over there? Because Germany pays
like 2,000.
It's astronomical.
Whenever I see and they study so many different systems, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll see like a GM Bobby seminar or Tuhan Jared or Tuhan Ray, or, just a bunch of people. And it's like, holy crap, there's 200 people at that seminar. And I think it has a lot to do with maybe not uniquely through Dieter, but I believe there's some federation or organization there that just, they're all affiliated and they support, incoming Filipino martial arts instructors. Yeah,
what's neat out there too from what I hear, and again, I just want to hear. I haven't been over there, but they're really supportive of each other. Like if you when there's a seminar, like they come out to support.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuan Michelle was telling me that, and a few others that they really come out, and I thought, that was kind of
neat. And what I love about, this is a broad generalization, obviously, but what I know of German Filipino martial arts students is they dive deep into the system to include the culture, right? They want to know exactly what this terminology is and where it came from and where its origin comes from. But then they're also not all of them, but when they decide to fight, they're formidable fighters. I fought a bunch of Germans, and it was amazing. When Tuhan Philip was a guest headlining instructor at the PTTA Asia conference there in the Philippines, he was just showing some super complex, elaborate stuff, and the Germans were just like, "Oh, give me more," because there's something about that kind. And Tuan Philip is just, he knows everything about everything, and so they were just eating it all up. Meanwhile, I was there like, 200. I'm still on step one. But yeah, the Germans are amazing, and the French also, but we're talking about the Germans right now. Shout
I
out
think it's.
to the Germans who study
I just think
Filipino
it's just
martial arts.
neat that they come out and
They're
support like
amazing.
that, and I just wish that would be more the case over here. And, it's improving. I really do think it's improving, and hopefully
Yeah,
it will continue to improve.
yeah.
Let me see here. Next, this guy is really spreading the art in the Taekwondo community, and another PT Turja, Paulo Ladra.
Yes,
Been on the
yes.
show, kind of an
Hmm.
easygoing guy. Obviously, I can see why he's so likable. I think
Yep.
what he's doing it, I tell you, he's spreading it wildflower in the
Hmm.
Taekwondo schools. You know,
Yeah, Tuhan Apollo. What can I say about Tuhan Apollo? Many great things, but I think if I were to pick two as far as his strengths in Filipino martial arts, maybe I'll name three. He's very well organized and he knows how to structure
mm,
a well-oiled machine when it comes to the business side of FMA. That's one, and that's really important for growth. Okay,
mm,
number two, and number two is that he really infuses and is big on the cultural and artistic aspects of the Filipino martial arts,
mm,
right? So he's very well organized on the business side. He really carries Filipino pride, culture, art, history into his teachings.
mm,
And the third thing is he's actually a very, very good teacher. Like his
yeah.
teaching methodology, and I think a part of it is that he teaches a lot of kids, and I think when you teach kids, you really need to focus on teaching as a craft because you can't get away with just, okay, see this, do this.
Do
Children
either one.
do it like that. So children need guidance, right? And they need structure. And so what he's done with Kali and the people that he's surrounded himself with, to
Incredible.
include his brother, like those two are amazing. Shout out to Han Bobby Ladra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that guy is a gentleman and he's a murderer. I mean, not literally a murderer, but yeah,
Yeah. I
Tuhan
mean,
Tuhan Bobby Ladra is like he's rough, man. Like he's a banger, but he's so kind
yeah.
at the same time, which is weird.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
think what he's doing is stellar. And like you said, in the business model of it, we've had him on and one of his top gurus, Ace
Ace
Ramirez, and
Ramirez. Yeah,
they got that down, that model to a science. I
yeah,
mean, it's,
beautiful.
and no wonder why it's spreading. I mean, they absolutely have
Yeah,
perfected it and doing
yeah.
well with it.
And as far as I know, Master Ace is very generous as far as sharing this information with other Filipino martial artists. Because I think sometimes
Mm,
when there's an element of FMA where we see others gain a level of success. Some of that crab mentality kicks in. It was like blah blah blah, but really they're generous people and they want to share. And
yeah.
the more people that do it in that way, I'm not saying I'm not infusing their ideologies to yours, but if you need some
Mm,
business advice, how to structure.
mm,
They're probably good people to reach out to and say, hey, what can I learn
mm.
if that's part of your intention. Some people like their small backyard groups, and that's also amazing.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you speak on this guy because you're the
Yeah.
one who I was looking for another European that was really spreading the art over there, but also
Mhm.
came well touted, and
Yeah.
that's Tuan Eric. So go ahead.
Yeah. Tuhan Eric. So Tuhan, first of all, the French, for all you Americans out there telling old lame jokes about the French.
We.
No, the French, the the French have a very, very strong and rich fighting culture up to this day. They are, I mean, they're judo is huge in France,
I would have
right?
never guessed that. Huh.
Man, the martial arts is woven into the fabric of the French people. Fighting is woven into the fabric of the French people, and they are rough. You know what I mean? You think of France, you might think of like Paris, and everything's okay, but like there's a dark, seedy side of
Croissants.
Paris that is like you don't want to be walking around some of those back alleys in Paris. I've been there. It's rough, bro. It's rough. So, two on Eric, rich history in the martial arts.
Yeah.
He's you name a martial artist and he's got a photo with them because he dedicates so much of his life to not just the
Mm,
Filipino martial arts but the martial arts. Period. Big
that's
JKD
fantastic.
guy, Savat. Filipino
The
martial
cane
arts in a
system, Lacane, or
Lacan.
whatever.
I'm not sure if he did that, but I
I
mean,
mean, but they have that art, I guess.
yes.
Yeah.
But if there's a video of Tuhan Eric with one of his longstanding students of over 25 years. His name is Kinte, and I met them. I met Kinte. Of course, I've met Tuhan Eric so many times, but there's a big event held, I believe, annually or biannually in France where representatives from different martial arts, and it's like they fill an arena, of people watching martial arts demonstrations. And the Filipino martial arts demonstration that Tuhan Eric did was some of the best FMA I've ever seen in my whole life.
Wow.
It's, bro, I wish I have it on my hard drive on my computer. You guys know this, like there's like an announcer representing Filipino martial
Representing
arts,
FMA from
blah,
the
blah, blah.
Fronton.
And but the demos are like so well, or it's choreographed, right? Because it's like you have 5 minutes to show this, and that. And you really got to put work into showcasing and really crafting the demo. And he did such a phenomenal job. And Tuhan Eric is, aside from the art, the martial arts, he's one of the baddest dudes on the planet as far as, special police kind of counterterrorism stuff is concerned.
Oh my God! I wish I never brought up about the Fang joke. Guys, I tell you what. Let's just kind of drop it.
That's all right. Let him have it out. Let's continue, man. It's healthy. They're talking about the origins of a technique. There's gonna be debate.
When I start hearing stuff like butthurt and all that, I mean, but anyway, all right.
Both of these guys are awesome dudes. They're great guys.
I don't know if I'm familiar with George. No, thank you. Okay, next, Benler Larusa. So obviously, people know from kind of out west. Kind of formed with Villabril, hence it became La Rusa Villabril system. Is definitely in the Asano blend. There are some folks that teach it really well. A guy up in name, God darn, his name is now escaping me. We had him on the show. Oh God Almighty. At any rate, but yes, well known back in the day, pioneer. Corner Villabril, definitely.
It's one of those names where it just really highlights my undereducation in the Filipino martial arts. When I hear of these names, and then I've got nothing to say because I'm a baby.
It's okay. I mean, this is how I mean, we all went through this, man.
But I've heard nothing but positive things.
It definitely changed. Well, I don't want to go knee deep, but there was the Villabril system, which was very practical to the point. And then La Rusa, when they formed it, it did take a change. And I'll kind of leave it at that. So, all right, next.
Oh,
I'll let you
sorry.
speak
Before you go on to your next one,
sure.
Again, I'm just kind of.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here it is. So I'm just going to show this. Y'all need to Google that name right there. Is it coming in reverse? So not YouTube.
All right, it's clear now. So Eric Lornay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. YouTube that. He's great friends with Ron Balicki. They did a lot of stuff together.
Okay.
But just look up that name. It's smorgasbord of different.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry, Dean. Go ahead. Who's your next one?
My next is I'm gonna have you speak on this guy because you've actually met and touched hands with him. I've had him on a show a few times. But Belton Lubas.
Belton.
Oh my God, go ahead and stick to non-controversial stuff like politics, abortion.
Yeah, I don't know about. I've Belton. It sounds familiar.
He kind of sounds familiar.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, I think.
Oregon or something.
Something about Guam. I have no idea. No, I'm just kidding.
Bobby
Tuhan Belton's the man. Tuan Belton is he's a cool guy. He's an artist, but he raises a lot of champions in combat sports.
He does like, I mean, he's
MMA,
got
Muay
fighters,
Thai.
Thai fight, like competing in Thai, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. He's an FQI. He's the highest rank in Balintawak. He's a Tuhan in PQD Tersha, right? So he's like Guru Han, 3 Han something. But the thing I like about
What were some of the names out there? Nuhan, Trihan.
No. See, the thing is, like, honestly, if I were to make an exception for all the newly appointed Tuhans, it would be Belton. He did it, and the dude fights a lot. Like oh yeah, that's it. He's a crew Guruhan because he's a crew.
He's a crew under Thai.
Yeah, crew Yai in under Chai Ajahn Chai, I believe.
Yeah.
In Muay Thai, I believe he's a brown belt sandbagging in his jiu-jitsu. So he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a crew in Muay Thai. He's an FUI in Balintawak, and he's a Tuhan in PKD Tersha. Loves the art, but is so combat oriented. Like he fights, he spars, which gives him a very unique perspective. And he's got a very successful gym in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, looks it.
Great guy. He's an artist. He dances, he breaks, he pops, he locks, he plays the saxophone, and what's not to love. He's got jokes. He likes to eat food. Yeah, we spent some time here when he came down here. We had a good time.
Sounds
yeah. Oh, sorry. And he's a Datu Kelly Warden and senior instructor.
He's under Kelly Warden.
Okay. Yeah. How can I forget? Yeah.
Next is he creates symposiums out in California where he would just it would be a very theme oriented. In other words, I think one of the first ones was like stick. Then there was knife. He's got one coming up next year. I forget the topic or the specialty that's going to be covered, but just really neat. He gets basically the best of the best under one roof from all geographically, all these different countries, styles, but the theme is one weapon. Again, he's done a stick, knife, and that's also, he's certified in a bunch of systems, kind of just low key and all that, and that's Mahi Pao Lunia. Really, but does a lot of background work in the study of war, really covering a lot of these systems.
Who's this guy?
Mahi Pao Lunia. Okay, so when we did the FMA versus FMA, me, Mark Stewart Dwight, he was the fourth guy, Mahi Pao Lunia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Good to know. Yeah, what he's done as far as like the collaborations that he is able to create and put, again, he's got another one coming. I believe it's early 2023. Again, I don't recall what he's going to focus on, but literally he gets folks from all these different countries. And in other words, like I know Eskrima Criolla, he's going to have a rep for that, and this one coming up and a few others, but just incredible. He covered one stick. Like he had Mark Dendigo there, and some other folks. He had Portugal Stick fighting there. He
Jogo
had
de Pau.
Yeah. Which matter of fact, we have a guy coming on later this month. Luis Prado is coming on talking about that. But
cool.
Yeah, really neat. But I just think what he's doing is just incredible on that and on that front. And again, he's a practitioner and everything else. So
super dope. Hey, I'd like to know more about him. Please send me a link, like you did last time.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, let me write that down so I don't forget.
Sweet. Sweet. Good stuff. Oh man, the comments awesome.
Yeah.
Sal Morales, Professor Leonard Trigg. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. We got next.
Yeah, we mentioned Professor Trigg, or I did the last show. Definitely.
Yes, and as others have as well. So yeah. Okay. Next, he deserves to be on here. He's leading Kiro. Really took care of GM Tony when he was dying. Was around when Illustrious was alive. There's pictures of him having on the back of his motorcycle, really perpetuating KI in Manila, and that's Coach
Yeah.
Arnold. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I saw that demo he did. Who's that other guy, Ramon, that you had on?
Ramon, yeah. Ramon? Oh yeah, Ramon's good people. Guru Ramon. Yeah. Guru Ramon is, I think, deserves
great
more
stuff.
credit. I think the way Guru Ramon articulates stuff, I think he deserves more credit than he's given.
Arnold Narzo, and he looks like a bad man too. You know what I mean? Like he's got that.
Particularly he's leading, like in the way he took care of. I've heard this from numerous people. He really took care of GM Tony when he was on his death. I mean, so the guy obviously has a pure heart. You know what I mean? So
those guys. So much respect for that kind of an individual.
And you hear it and you see it. You know, and matter of fact, folks, if you haven't, they just came out with a book. So, folks, and I think they have some copies left, actually. So the book is. So basically, what's here? This is kind of interesting, folks.
It's like a 3-parter, right? This is part 1 of a trilogy.
Actually, well, I understand it's supposed to be 5. So this is the first. So it really is based on Australia techniques. And so, and from my understanding from Guru Ramon, there's going to be subsequent issues that come out that are going to be solely focused on. Done. Like they'll do techniques.
Can you flip through it real quick? Can you just go? Can you show us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just real quick. I want to see. Oh my God, I've seen enough. That is gorgeous. By the way, you guys.
No, well done.
Yeah, I can tell immediately, and the stock looks like it's good quality. Oh my God, that's amazing.
No,
what an accomplishment! That's, I mean, a book like that. That's an absolute accomplishment.
Yeah. So folks, there's some copies still available. Just get a hold of Guru Ramon.
That is beautiful.
But much you say. He was just on. We talked about the book. He did some demos, and Coach stopped by. But I tell you, Guru Ramon has a there's certain, you know what it is. We all have people that, wow, I could learn so much from this guy because the way he shows things. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's not to say other teachers are bad, but certain teachers, they can really pull the best out of you.
I think certain. Yeah, I think it's a connectivity thing. Like certain students, really gravitate towards certain kinds of instructors.
Totally. And the way he explained things, I'm watching, I'm like, wow, like I could really really grasp a lot of stuff. Just the way he does and all that, like it would gel with me. Where not all teachers I gel with. And it's not that I don't respect him and all that. It's far from the case. It's just there's certain people that really can pull out the best in me. You know what I mean?
You know what kind of instructors I gravitate towards? And I feel like both Ramon and Arnold would fit the bill. I'm a very Socratic type learner, right? I like asking questions and I like really putting the instructor into instructor mode, but I like some, it's not necessarily control, but because I travel and I have ideas and I'm trying to put pieces together whenever I'm with an instructor, and I'm not going to be their student, right? Like I'm a nomad, but when they show me something and I'm like, oh, so that would work if I did this, and their eyes would light up, and then and then you could follow up with this. Like that's the kind of instructor that I really enjoy my time with. Somebody who appreciates that Socratic method of bouncing ideas from one to another while still maintaining the student-teacher relationship. And I feel like the way I saw both of them teach, I feel like that's their ultimate form, is when they're being asked questions instead of
something it triggers, it really brings out.
GM Yuli Romo is like that as well. You ask him a question and they're like, their eyes light up and they're like, oh wow, I love that. I love that.
That's why I want to bring them on again, because I don't care, man. Like when they come on, why am I asking for demos? Because I want to see what you do, and I want to see how you do it, man. I'm a student in heart, so I want to see. That's why I like bringing Guru Ramon on, because I get little pieces like, oh, okay, so you bump up and push over. Okay, media. Okay.
So awesome. All right, what else we got?
We got Doug Marqueta. So,
Yes.
really, some say he's just about the art and all that, but you know what though? There's nobody tell me he hasn't spread. The fact that people like what he does, how he shows stuff, it's eloquent. I mean, he looks good when he's doing it.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a cup of tea or not, it doesn't matter. He's perpetuating the arts and that. And
Yeah.
anything you want to in regards to him?
Yeah, I mean, Doug and I started together as far as our intentions in promoting the Filipino martial arts through just like stunning visual
Mm,
representation, right? I think we did a great job at that. I think we
mm,
inspired a lot of people through my lens and through his art. Yeah, I just think he's a great ambassador for Filipino martial
mm.
arts, and he continues to be. Um, yeah, and he's a good guy to be around. Just
Yeah, I mean, he
yeah,
seems. I had him on the show. He seemed pleasant. I've
yeah,
never met him in person, but the person that came on the show
yeah,
was
yeah.
I thought was
He's like
friendly, pleasant. Yeah,
he's a dad jokes kind of dude. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's
Some of
real
the
easy.
jokes.
Yeah, he's a
Okay,
real
fair enough.
easygoing guy. Yeah,
Fair enough.
great sense of
Um,
humor, and
yeah.
he's also got like a very profound philosophical, maybe not profound, but uh, it's it's based on gratitude. Like
Hmm.
he really expresses his gratitude, which is one of the most important things about being alive and just getting the most out of life is being grateful and expressing that and
You
wanting to inspire others.
can't go wrong
Yeah,
there, right? So
yeah,
next,
yeah.
he's
Mm.
really kind of propelling the Bahalana Heron system currently. He was under GM Samara, who Tony Samara who passed, and that's GM Kirk McCune.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
Don't know.
good
Sorry.
reputation. Well, no.
No, I know, right? Like I keep to see. I'm so sorry, and no disrespect. Like I said, I'm a baby at this, and there's
Yeah, yeah,
people
no,
that
no,
are
no,
just
no.
like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Just look up Kirk McCune and
Okay, I will.
you'll see him. Yeah,
Send me
kind of
stuff. I'm
cold,
getting such
weird.
an education.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
again, he has the copyrights and all that. He's been on the show a few times. Did presented well, um, but
Awesome.
yeah. So he is the guy apparently. Okay,
Yeah.
let me see.
Sorry.
Next, oh,
Hmm.
GM Dan Medina. So
Dan
obviously,
Medina.
yeah, we got to have him on the system and all that. So yeah, GM Dan Medina
Hmm.
wrote a book. He's got a book out currently in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
Um, Pretty neat stuff if you look at his system. The Rubio,
Cool.
the Screama.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm down.
yeah,
I'm down with the
yeah,
Rubio
GM Dan
Screamo.
Medina. Yeah, I hope that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down in Carolinas, San Diego or
Wait, he made
somewhere.
it. He's the founder. He's the guy who created it.
Don't I interviewed him. I should know the answer to this, and I don't want to speak
Okay, that's okay.
incorrectly. But hopefully, if Alvin is still on here, he can definitely speak to that.
Okay.
But at any rate, though, seems like a great guy. Spreading
Yeah,
yards, book, whole 9 yards, right?
I'm down.
Um, Next, Mark Makita. So Mark has
Yeah,
an official FMA school like Tim Hartman. Not many do
yeah.
have fully in there. He does. Really explores like options in the art. Like one of the things, if you ever seen the video, is disarms. Like there's a
Hmm.
video with him and Bert, and they're definitely doing the art, no question about it. They're just
Yep.
having a fun time, just playing around. But Mark Makita, obviously incredibly talented. If you look at what he does and the skill set and all that, yeah, just
Yeah.
incredible murals on his wall, the school.
Yeah, I
If you
think he's
guys want,
moved to different schools, but yeah, Mark Makita is, and he's been around for a
yeah,
while too.
absolutely. Old Dan
Yeah,
Asano, Bland, 100% been around for a while. Yeah,
yeah. You know that there was a disarm video between it was a video of Mark Makita and Burton,
correct. That's
and
it.
then yeah,
Yeah,
and then I had the guys at the boudoir test it out. We're like, oh, we're really finding difficulty in getting this, and we actually had a conversation with them about it, and super duper open.
Oh yeah. And I think it was just the art. Like just being under Burton, I can tell you right now when Burton goes in the art with somebody, but when Burton
Yeah.
say, look, this is what's,
Sure.
I can tell you that
But
right now.
But I mean, a part of my mandate, a part of my personal mandate in Filipino martial arts is to be able to pull off artistic and improbable under heavy stress, under sparring conditions.
Yeah.
And there's a heavy toll to pay for that. You get hit a lot trying to do all this fancy crap.
Burton said, look, it just was funny art. This is stuff you're not going to pull off with somebody.
But I think that's the fun part. If you can
that's
shed
what they
your
were having
ego,
fun. That was it. They were having fun.
I try this stuff while somebody's trying to smash my head, and most often I fail.
Yeah.
But the process of trying to pull off like this arm and this sequence, I pay for it. I get hit a lot, but I try it. But when I pull it off, bro, that's going on Instagram Reels right away.
They're very old friends. And so when Burton goes to that area, they kind of hook up, touch base, catch up. And during that particular time, that's what happened. And that's kind of came out within their meeting. But it was just fun, musical play. You know what I mean?
I love that stuff.
That
stuff's inspiring, though.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. I think sometimes people just take it the wrong way. And the first thing they say is like, that'll never work.
Yeah.
And whenever people say that'll never work, it's I've seen so many improbable things. I've done so many improbable things that I haven't trained. I've seen other people do improbable things that I've never seen trained. That, man, it's just the anyone who stick fights like kind of full contact or full contact ish knows there's some weird crap that happens in those clashes, man. There's some weird, odd things.
Body and then after you really move where you didn't think it would move, or
and then you see the video and you're like,
how did that happen?
Or like, I totally meant to do that. There's just crazy stuff that happens. There's amazing stuff that happens.
That was, I totally.
You guys know.
I timed that perfectly. What are you talking about?
Albert G. and Dan is a student of the late Rubio Escrima founder of Braulio.
Okay. That name sounds familiar when I interviewed him. Okay, good. Thank you,
cool.
Alvin. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Next. So this guy was Jose Caballero's top student. So he had top students based on their ages. So at the oldest age, his top student was Eric Olavides. And
I've heard of him.
Incredible. Still alive. Is still promoting his system. The Campo Original 1, 2, 3. Just incredible. Really nice guy. He wouldn't come on and do a video thing because he's alive, but he did send a recording, and it's an episode on FMA discussion where he basically is verbally answering the questions I submitted to him. But incredible. Nice. So kind of low key, but deservingly should be on this list. Yeah.
Cool.
Next person is really you. I tell you, people are going to kind of wonder about this. I'm going to tell you something about this guy, though. This guy is spreading the arts in Mexico, Central America, and South America. And to me, I think it's fantastic. He's a super person. I did a joint seminar with him one time. It was so much fun and a pleasure. And that is Master Lalo Palomares. He is a Doce Paris guy, but he also trains Lamego Estig under Guru Roger. Just a wonderful guy. Again, he's really pushing FMA in those countries I just mentioned, and I think he's doing a great job. I look at him as an ambassador in that geographic area, and he's on my list. You know what I mean? That's
amazing. Cool. Yeah. What's his name again? One more time.
Lalo Palomares.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
another one I need to look up to.
Yeah, he's just a great guy. Yeah.
Not Renee.
He has written a book, hard copy, Maestro Alvin. Yep, and it's a good book too, by the way. Next, these guys. They put the tennis ball from the ceiling and they dance around it, you know, there to there, and they're ice skating like on their feet and this. Guru J. Have you met with him or talked to them at all?
Yeah, we've talked. Yeah.
Really nice
In
guy.
fact, the Guru, and Gregory J.
Manello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are guys that nobody introduced me to. Nobody said, "Look at these guys." I just found a video of them, had no idea who they were, and I just formulated my opinion solely based on the movement that I saw. I contacted them, and I'm like, "Yo, bros, I love your shit." And then I come to find out that they represent, Sunny on Pod System,
Science, yeah,
um,
and he's coming back on
Visayan style,
actually.
Corto Cadena Lagomano or Lagomano,
Yeah,
Corto Cadena. Love
that's
that.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Love
He's
that
coming
stuff.
back on December. He
Yeah.
just reached out to me on Instagram and showed me some stuff, and I said, "Hey, why don't you come back on the show?" Really nice guy. I do like him. I like it what he's doing with representing Sonny, spreading Sonny's art around. I think he looks like he's doing an
Yeah.
incredible job with it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I want to do with that system is just learn some of their, graceful footwork models. I don't know that I've ever seen them do this. I'm sure they do this. Is from that grace and from that kind of lulling cadence just explode and be absolutely violent. I think it would throw some people off. It's kind of how I use KI.
You're kind of seeing this movement kind of relax, and all of a sudden, drive a rocket. You know
They
what
just
I mean?
like a rabid dog on meth right in your face. And I think that would aesthetically, number one, look dope. But I think it would confuse the crap out of opponents, especially in a full contact match. And it's just to get into that groove, and you're like, yeah, and then
it's intriguing. Overall, when I look
what I
they
want to do with it.
Especially the footwork. Like, okay, you're hanging a tennis ball or rope. I mean, that's not new to anybody. You know what I mean? If you want to get thinner, just hang a rope, put a knot at the end of the rope, index finger, thumb on each side. But the way they do in conjunction with that, with the footwork and the covers, is what makes it unique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not the apparatus.
Use tennis ball on a rope very differently. They and myself.
So I'm a fan.
Yeah.
They're coming back
Big
on.
fan.
Yeah.
Fan.
Next, Kobaton, Ernesto Presses. So
cool.
definitely. Obviously, Remy's brother. Spread the art of that. It's known for its double stick, but there's other stuff as well besides the double stick. Reps throughout the world. I don't think he obviously not as the impact as much as Remy did, but who did? But
speaking of Kombatan, I got a shout out GM Oliver Garduce, Pintado System. He was a Kombatan guy.
Kombatan guy? Okay. Yeah.
The smiling assassin. I love that.
The smiling assassin. Yeah. He was on the show. I think Tom interviewed him. Definitely interesting guy. Yeah.
Just love, and you know what? GM Garduce loves the Filipino martial arts, and he loves Filipino culture. He's very proud.
Yeah, I mean,
and I want to support him. Yeah,
absolutely. Next, also definitely under the Sonny Umpad lineage, spreading the art, couple books. Maya Solderholm.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Had him on a show. She killed it. Just what she spoke on, her books. She still moves around, teaches it. I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So some connectivity here. So I didn't know of Maya. I heard of her through your show, actually.
Yep. That's what our show does.
Bring people together. But I was in Arizona at the Protector Symposium, and there was a guy there, Ed Calderon. Ed Calderon. Ed Calderon. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's going to be on the Lex Friedman podcast.
Ed Calderon. Oh, I didn't know you knew him.
Oh yeah, we hit it off, man. We're buddies. And the reason I mentioned that, this is from Ed Calderon. He gave me this. This is what he uses as a training knife, because you can make it. It's just like some foam with some tape wrapped around it. It's actually signed by him right there. You can go hard. You can go hard with it. you can dispose of it. But I was talking with Ed Calderon in Arizona during the Protector Symposium. We're talking about bladed stuff, and he's very much into teaching civilians all the dirty hood rat shit that the cartels are using. That the criminal mind, how the criminal mind thinks, and then also how to forge makeshift weapons out of everyday objects in non-permissive environments, right? So and he works on the U.S.
hyper influence there.
No, but you know what? But in terms of sensibilities, right? In terms of sensibilities, yeah. His mandate is making people aware, like, and his course is nuts, bro. Like, he teaches you how to make all sorts of cocktails, let's say. But in any case,
we don't do the cocktails, but
yeah,
our faction definitely say, hey, this is what the criminals are going to do. This is what, as far as tactics, and I think that's important.
Sure.
Much to your point.
Yeah. It's important to a degree, but in any case. So Ed and I were in Arizona. We're talking about, the blade, and I'm like, hey man, I'm an art guy. I love studying all of it, but I'm an art guy. And then, so after that, Ed tags me on an Instagram post, and he's doing this like dance with a blade, and he tags me. He's like, hey, Gian has inspired me to revisit my Filipino martial arts, and then ends up he studies under Maya and the Visayan Legacy Core Cadena system.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
good on him.
This is the connection, right? And then I made a comment about, I'm kind of reading between the lines of what you're doing. It seems like dance. And then Maya commented about, like, this is really jazz, and how she characterizes the Visayan system. It's like jazz. It's if you know how to play jazz and you know how to navigate through this, what you're really doing is you have to listen to the notes that aren't being played, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's not so much about the keys you're pressing. It's also as much about the keys that you're purposefully not
pressing. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that will make sense to some people. But yeah, so anyway, that's the connection with Maya.
I would have never guessed that connection.
Ed Calderon. Yeah, Maya's a gangster. She's a gangster.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ed Calderon, I didn't know you. Interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Okay.
Man.
All right.
I'm an art guy, but I collect information, bro, and yeah.
Scott Bab, Ed Calderon. Okay, all right.
The videos that he shows in his oh my god.
Yeah.
The blade is. I don't like thinking about what the blade can do. I mean, some people like to dwell in that.
They tap into a different world.
Yeah,
and it's a dark. I tell you, it's a dark world. And one of the things we tell folks in Piper, like, if you don't go there, if you feel you are, tell us, because it's dark.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is, but I mean, also it's just like, I've seen it every sort of gruesome execution, cartel stuff. It's just nasty.
Especially those cartels. I mean, I can't imagine what he's been exposed to. Yeah.
I'm in some groups with some Brazilians, and they just like, it's nonstop on this WhatsApp group of just people getting
just hacked. That in South Africa. God. Brazil, South Africa.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Whew.
Next. So this guy is really carrying on, perpetuating Ted Lukai system. And that's Mark Stewart. He's really, I think he's, it could be more. I think the most prolific one I hear about doing it is, in fact, Mark Stewart. And he really praises him, speaks high of him, spreading his system. He's been on the show, incredibly articulate when you get him in a seat and settled, and the way he speaks on it. Yeah, I know.
Mark Stewart, you like my jacket, Paulo? I'm gonna kick his ass. I love Mark.
That critter kills me, man. He is a freaking critter.
Yo, he's got that swagger about him. Like, I've been in fights. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to have, an image.
He is too much. He's
love
too much.
Those old school dudes, man. So
he is so funny. The pictures he'll send me, And
Bro,
like,
I
I'm
love
just
Mark
like,
Stewart.
the guy, I mean, like this guy is just, he's too
You
much,
know,
man.
okay, I got
But
a story about Mark.
fun
I
guy.
got a
Go
quick
ahead. Go
story.
ahead. Yeah.
So this guy is like this accomplished dude. Like he's done a
Mhm.
whole bunch of things. I didn't know this. All of a sudden, just like this crazy wacko starts showing up on my feed, and he's doing like, he's outside. He's in Thailand in shorts, and he's
No, I know.
friggin' doing stuff. And then people who just look at that stuff on the surface and be like, "What a crazy dude! This guy doesn't know what he's doing." But I'm like, there's something about this guy. So then I commented, I think it was on Aperture Forum. He was showing some stuff. And I just commented, I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but I really like him. And that's just like, sometimes people might see that as a disrespect, right? Especially if that's their grandmaster.
Yeah.
Because I talk to these people sometimes on like the surface level, and me kind of penetrating through the screen and going, there's something about this dude. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know who this guy is, but I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a character. I get along with him great.
He's a
But
skilled guy.
yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Next. All right. So
Mm.
I'm going to tell you why I chose this guy.
Okay.
Not so much just based on his FMA, even though I guess that's what it's supposed to be, but indirectly where he is going. And I think he's going to be a good role model for folks who don't think they need to train in other systems. And I hate to be a broken record, but when it comes to emptying against knife, if you don't have clinch work and some ground stuff,
You're done.
it's going to be hard times. I'm just telling you that. But what the hell do I know? But I'm just saying, if you don't have good clinch and ground and all that, and somebody who looks at that, and I wish more FMA guys would look at that, and I wish more BJJ guys would look at the weapons aspect on the ground. But getting back to the FMA lane, and that's Coach Danny Terrell. I just think I just like his open mind. You know what I mean? And that. And I just think it's important, man. If you were training empty hand against knife in your system, and you don't have that clinch component, like you're not giving your students everything they need. I'm sorry, you're not. And that's so. But to Coach Terrell,
I love this. He actually sent me messages today about Sabayan, and then we had a nice discussion. I filmed some videos to kind of explain. He's also like just a student,
So
And
I think it's why? I think that's what it is. It's just like some of these guys, they lose sight that at the end of the day, you should still be a student.
He's still learning, but also he's a great teacher, man. He's a great just a great teacher. And I mean, you know me, I'll go back to the same two things, intelligence and logic, right? That those two things lend itself to teaching ability, and those are the two most important things. And then
right. And I just wish more folks in the FMA community would just look at those areas and be a little more open.
Here's what I wish. I wish Coach Danny would like grow out his beard, grab a couple of tattoos, wear some freaking camo pants, do some Instagram reels, say some controversial shit, and then people will finally pay attention.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be Coach Danny anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just like if I started doing that, if I went on a tirade, I wouldn't be Dean Franco anymore.
That's true. But you know what I mean? Like I made a video today just about just how undereducated a lot of the knife crowd is, and that they fall for imagery so much. You know what I mean?
Beyond uneducated, Paulo.
Yeah.
It's a facade. I mean,
well,
it's
that's
false
what it
sense.
is.
I mean, what they think they're going to be able to do in real time. I mean,
I know, man. Like it's crazy. It's almost like, and I don't want to counsel people to be inauthentic. You know what I mean? But it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
When you're in the trenches and you've done it and you've experienced failures and you've been on the edge where, man, that thing is coming in, and man, and if you treat it with utmost integrity and honesty, is one of the hardest things to do. Natural stress inoculation. And if you're not dealing with that way, I'm sorry, you're not really dealing with it. I don't know. My findings, anyhow.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
and the
shout out
good
Coach
part of the
10.
community, to your point, is not in touch.
Yeah, but it's hard, man. It's hard because a lot of people who look for, knife defense solutions or martial arts solutions, they're really, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I'm working on this video right now where I do the exact same sequence of techniques. One dressed in, olive drab, just like pure tactical, you know what I mean? Just like camoed out with a balaclava. And I do this technique. I do the exact same technique sequence, dressed in jeans and a hat with a hoodie. And I do the exact same technique sequence wearing, Crocs, jogging pants, and a sweater.
Jogging
And
pants.
it's, yeah. And even as I'm watching this, I'm like, and I'm going to make this satirical video about how people really just go on imagery and insta credibility. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, well, actually, that camo stuff does look pretty badass. You know what I mean? So it sells, right? So anyway, that's the thing. That's the
That's a
thing.
good point. I mean, I totally agree on everything, and it's been
Yeah.
I've been doing for 10 years. I had to shut down a forum I had called Blade Technologies, and the reason
Yeah.
why I shut down, it took 2 years off Facebook because people were so against me when discussions me and you are having right now,
Yeah.
they didn't want to hear it, and I'm like, shut it
Yeah.
down. You know what I mean? Shut it down.
You know, honestly, man, I'm trying to play the game, but I'm trying to stay authentic. I got a message today from, Jim Ron Satorno. I got a message from Danny Terrell. I just got a message from Ed Calderon. And it kind of gives me fuel a little bit, like that I'm able to have these conversations with these kinds of people, even if it's just like kind of behind the scenes.
Sure.
It gives me a little bit of hope. Anyway.
I hope I wasn't.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Dean. We're having such a great conversation. It's almost friggin' 2 hours.
No
Who
worries.
else you got? Who else you got?
Yeah. We're okay. Next, I think what he's doing in the Philippines, especially with the kids, we participated in a fundraiser for him and got some, which you were part of, incidentally. It was one of the early ones, and that is GM Renee Tungsten.
Yes, 100%. Abanico Tres Puntas.
Yeah, absolutely. Just what he's doing over there.
Yep.
Man, when you're saying you're doing something with kids, it doesn't take much for me. So,
yeah. No, it's wonderful.
I think so. Yeah.
And he's, I think, he works towards collaboration, affiliation, federation. He's trying to really bring people together.
Yeah.
So I think that's a wonderful thing.
I think so too, and I just love what he does, and I hope he reaches incredible success with it. Yeah,
I met him in the Philippines, and he bought me a coffee. He's a big coffee guy, and a rooster
I think
guy.
you mentioned that actually.
Yeah. He's big into coffee. Yeah, great guy.
Okay.
Great guy.
Next, you know him. I think you admire his double stick work, Romel Tortel.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Super graceful and
seems very nice.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of 200 Romel's Carenzas are, I mean, just so smooth. He's like Glenn Livett 21, just like goes down so smooth, man. Just
he deserves it 100%. Now, this guy I've never spoken with, and this guy was picked based on kind of feedback that came into me and people that he's been affiliated with, or people. And so really, this one's kind of word of mouth. And that is Professor Leonard Trigg.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I don't know much about him, other than he's Professor Leonard Trigg up in the northwest corner. And
so there's some contention about whether or not he's actually the heir to the Lameco system.
There's definitely
it's up for contention. He doesn't care. I mean, honestly, he'd rather not have anything to do with it. He's very much like a reclusive person, but he's just a soft, kind, quiet man.
I heard you.
And then when he moves, the precision and power and control of his strikes, is absolutely beautiful to witness. I got to film him at the Water and Steel camp.
Okay, nice.
Um, yeah. Yeah, he actually gave me permission also to start his Facebook page. So I run his Facebook page. Yeah. But but I told him like, yo, I can't do this. Like I'll start it for you, but I need to hand it off to you. I haven't
Yeah,
posted it.
right. Yeah.
Like it's anyway, I can't get a hold of him now. So I gotta
I
I
hear
gotta
he's
let him
tough.
know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're not the first person that's told me that he's kind
yeah.
of tough to get hold of.
Yeah. So I kind of just leave it alone. I don't post anything. I posted some stuff when I was with
Mm,
him. And then after that, I'm like, hey, I'm not your voice, but I think people still send messages to that group. So one day,
mm,
if I see him again, I'm gonna run through all the inquiries
yeah.
and yeah.
Well, he's in it, man. He makes it. So, in my opinion. Next is, I had a few really extensive conversations with this guy regarding KI and stuff like that when I had him on the show. He's supposed to take a motorcycle ride up this way, but I guess it got canceled with Guru Alex. Seems like a great guy. Can't wait to finally meet him and touch hands with him. He's one of your boys up there. Multiple systems he's trained. Got a school, teaches kids. Enough said for me when kids come to play.
Mhm.
Sean Zerger.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Sean Zerger is a true martial artist
Mm,
um, in an almost like an archetypal sort of way. He's what you would
mm,
expect a martial artist to be, and he's got these dreams to one day live out his life on a boat writing,
yeah.
but and
Right.
it's just writing and just exploring.
Yeah.
Um, he has built something extraordinary here in Toronto with his throwdowns,
Mm,
where you can come in and openly communicate your intentions. You can go light, heavy, weapons, empty
yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
And he's just cultivated such an amazing community where people can shed their ego and test out what they've learned. That's
Awesome.
such an accomplishment. So,
Mm,
and yeah, and he's a bad man, you know what I mean? Like he's a big towering guy. He's very strong, and just even flowing with him.
yeah.
But he doesn't abuse that strength. Like when I did a knife flow with him, he could have easily just run me over. But
Mm,
he's a real, again, like he's like this archetypal martial artist. He's got the long hair. Sometimes looks like Jesus. Just like just an
when the hair's
amazing guy.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, just an amazing guy and a
He
perpetual
seems it.
student.
I mean,
Yeah.
I really hope one day to. We were talking about that. We both just like what each other what we said, and we've seemed to gel personality wise. And I hope it happens. He's somebody I would really
Yeah.
like to meet, and I hope it
Yeah.
happens. I mean,
He reminds me a little bit about Tuhan Phil in the in the
mm,
in the sense that they can have one foot onto the art and even some
and
of
one
the
foot in the
mystical,
funk
and then
only.
and then
Okay.
one foot firmly in like just
Yeah.
the practical gross motor stuff. So yeah, shout out.
I tell you, we got one person left, but I like the idea of those events where folks can come and they can choose what they want to do as far as weapon
Mhm.
intensity. And
Yep.
I was just at Beat the Crap Out of Cancer. I loved it so much, the energy and the people there. I'm going to start something here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Um, Connecticut's a tough state, like the weather, but I'm hoping folks will be behind it, do it. I know the mask guys will come. The Dog Brothers
Uh,
up there. Um,
yeah, you'll make something. The Dean Franco Invitational.
I loved it. It's like you can just
Yep.
grab somebody and you just say, hey,
Yeah.
I want to experiment with this. Would you mind doing that with me?
Hmm.
And let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? I just think that's like so
That's the way to
great.
go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
I mean, so I
Yeah.
loved it. And I think more and more. So I'm going to try to really get one going and hopefully other states will do it too. And it's beat the crap out of cancer. It's a great cause. Okay. Last but not
Yeah.
least. So this guy was an early Lamaico Illustrissimo student. He is very instrumental in the Philippines. He got in helping get FMA national sport, and that is Senator Miguel Zubri. He is also the gentleman
Oh yeah.
who beat Jeffrey Finder in that infamous match way back, whenever it was. I don't recall the year. Very close match
Mm.
between Jeff Finder and Miguel. and they still remain, I guess, friends to this day. But furthermore, in addition to him being a practitioner in Mako and those street small back in the day, what he's doing for FMA over there, as far as making for the sport and all that, he's still a senator in politics and very instrumental in the art. So to me,
yeah, I met him. I sat down with him when I was in the Philippines.
Oh, did you really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's. If I don't want to mischaracterize what he's trying to do with Filipino martial arts, and sometimes I don't want to be glance over it also, but he wants to make FMA a product, and I'll tell you what I mean. Just like the beaches are a product, just like arts and crafts, indigenous arts and crafts are a product. Just like food is a product, where you really take the heart and soul of it and you make it accessible to tourists. I believe I'm not sure if he specifically represents the Central Visayan region of the Philippines, which is that's like Cebu, and that's the heart. And I'm sorry, my opinion, that's kind of like the heart and soul of FMA. So he's doing some great things, but at the same time, I hope, my message to him is I hope he remains pure. I hope that he follows through with his intentions. I'm not so confident in Philippine politics that what I mean. So I hope he stays true to his word and he follows through and he puts his heart and soul into it, because I really believe in what I heard when I was there. But at the same time, I understand, again, don't hate the player, hate the game. Philippine politics isn't exactly
I know
clean, and there's a lot of pressures and things like that. So more power to him. He was a very pleasant individual when I met him. Seems like
Yeah,
so,
I just, much to your sentiment, I hope he does well, and I hope he follows through,
I hope
he achieves everything he wants to do in regards to FMA. I think he's so far. I mean, I think it's going well, and hopefully he continues.
Maybe I need to keep a closer pulse, because I'm not really seen it. But hey, I got three people. Your list is done, right?
My list is done, but please go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge. I don't think there's so many people that I acknowledged from before. I think Ernie Lake is dope. Ernie Lake, Inosanto, FCS guy. But then also I wanna acknowledge Celestino Macachor. I don't know if I gave him enough, for credit in the last podcast. So Celestino Macachor, Estacado de Campo. I had one exposure to this system, and it completely changed some of my approaches to the Filipino martial arts. He's very much about, he's a grandmaster, but he'd preferred to be called the director of training. He's just very pragmatic, and he's very upfront about what his system is. And it's like, if you're looking for this, do that. If you're looking for grappling, do this. And his EDC is sparring based. It is based on sparring, and the drills are reverse engineered for sparring performance. And I love that. And then another guy I don't really know. I think we've had a few chats, but Jesse Santiago from FMA Pulse.
Jesse Santiago,
yeah, he's doing great things. I think his videos are great. He's highlighting different instructors. His production is amazing.
He could have easily been in this 100, man.
Yeah.
So and Montini as well. But I had Eric Olivitas. I mean, who was his teacher, but Montini.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, these are subjective from my perspective. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to. You mentioned so many great names, but I'm like, you know what? Somebody who's creating content like.
Jesse Santiago. I mean,
shout out to him. Yeah.
And I know, awesome. And folks, I do get some messages and all that, and saying, no, I am not in the top 50. No, I am not in the top 100. I appreciate those who said I should. I'm not. I tell you, if you want to put me somewhere, I'll tell you what to do. You can put me in the top 10 students of my work ethic and all that. I would gladly accept that. But to be in all these names that were just mentioned.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird when you mentioned me. But, we're just.
I just don't. I'm not in there. So, but top student, I'll take it.
Yeah, me too. That's the way.
You know what I mean? I'm seriously not even
Yeah.
joking. If you said Dean, top student, man, all the
Yeah.
instructors say he works hard, work ethic, I'm good to go.
Top 100 students. That's an even better list to be on.
I'm telling you, man,
In some
I'll take the top
respects,
student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding, man. Who wants to instruct? I don't want all that pressure, the instructor leading a system. Student dean, man,
No.
I'll take it.
We should do like a top 10 worst FMA instructors.
Oh, that would be good for my popularity. Man, FMA discussion show has just been removed.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I would. I would not. There's a guy named Tuhan Jesus Orton Garcia from Mexico.
Like that poor guy. You know it is because I have a natural empathetic side to me. I see him get just steamrolled, and I'm like,
he brings it upon himself, man. He challenges people to like machete knife.
I know, but here's the thing: how much does that guy hate?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case. I have no evidence.
I feel bad. I mean, I'm being a bully now. I don't like.
But I feel bad. I see this guy just getting pounced on, and I'm just like, stop.
Well, because man, this is the cool thing about FMA too. You know what I mean? Like, it's a self-regulating community, and I faced some of that when I was being a little bit too arrogant too quickly, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, but this guy is like on another level, bro, because the way he moves and just like the claims he makes and how mean he is to people and how
I've seen him bring on himself.
Oh my god.
But here's the thing though. You know what I look at? If you see this guy going down this nowhere land, empty space, he's not going to go anywhere. He's just driving himself into a hole. I'm just like, I'm not going to add fire to it, man. Like I see where it's going, man. And it's going bad. See what I mean?
It's bad.
And so I can't just jump in on that and just be like,
yeah.
But I seen him kind of instigate.
Yeah, man.
I know. I've seen it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, he wanted to come on the show.
Great list. Thank you, man.
Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it as always. Yeah. This was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got it. And hopefully, folks, much that we talked about in the test run, and we'll see it and honor this as opposed to nitpicking and I wasn't on it, I wasn't chosen, my teacher, and that. Hopefully. But I guess I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. I honestly don't envision anybody going, why wasn't I on it? That would just
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not.
That'd just be kind of. I can imagine people saying, I can't believe you put that guy on it. Like, I can imagine that, but I can't imagine anybody would actually vocalize. Maybe some people do feel like they should be on this list, but if they vocalize it, that just means they don't belong on the list.
Yeah, think about that. Like if you, that's a good point. If you, I mean,
so Dean, you have how many people in total? Do you have 100?
100, yeah.
You should publish that list, man. You should.
I was thinking that too. Like, maybe I should, like in FMA discussion, just list it. You know?
Yeah, or send me the list, and I'll make like an infographic or something cool. We should commemorate this, and yeah, I like what you did there, bro. I like how you're like, there's no number one spot. Well, Tatang Illustrissimo is a number one spot for you, but you did it in alphabetical order. You slide you. Top 50.
But
yeah.
Illustrissimo.
Good for you, man. How long did this take? You like, how long was this process for you?
You know, there were a couple sleepless nights, not to exaggerate, just because I was so concerned of affecting people, and but that's me. I mean, that's on me. Honestly speaking, a few hours each day to do each one. But so Dean, though, I put a lot of thought into it. You know what I mean?
You did. I can tell.
Like, I just didn't be like, oh, okay, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I really put a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate being part of this discussion. I think when we see your top 100 list, I think it's going to be great. And it might change and it might shift, and people will
Yeah,
disagree, and people will think that person doesn't belong there, and they'll be like, "Why
of
didn't you
course.
include this person?" But if we can just continually steer that into a positive direction, and maybe first step is internally reflect, why do I feel this way and what can I do about it? That's much better than
Mm,
just being a whiny, entitled so and so, right?
yeah, agreed. No argument there. Or if there's somebody on there that you are so angry that the person's on there, I think that's also requires some reflection.
Oh,
You know,
100%. And why is this person like,
because now you're
why is this person
carrying
being
that.
on this list? Yeah,
You're
why
carrying that. Yeah, like that's
100%.
eating you. You're carrying that. You
Yeah,
want to
they're
carry that?
occupying space in your heart and in your
That's what I
brain
mean. You
rent
want
free.
that? Not this guy.
You're right, Dean. Yeah, if you're so angry about why somebody's on that list, that deserves some internal reflection. Why do I give this guy so?
Yeah.
Anyway, I
Why is
love
he
it.
in
I
my
love it.
mind? Why is he affecting me? Why is he in here? Why is he creating so much hostility within me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to live with that.
Yeah. But also another thing, Dean, is if somebody feels like I feel like my master ought to be on that list, again, reflect internally and go, what can I do to better promote this person that I
Or the
clearly
system in its
love,
whole.
or
Yeah.
the system? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, with any kind of a criticism, whenever this thing steers in the negative side of things, I think you and I have the same advice, right? Like reflect internally and then see what you can do to be
I
proactive,
totally agree with you. Like
to make.
if you're carrying that,
Yeah,
um,
love it.
yeah, I don't see how that's going to benefit you to internalize
Yeah,
that and to let it affect you that bad, where creates anger within you.
yeah,
You know,
awesome. I
yeah,
like it. It's kind of turned into a therapy session towards the end there.
yeah. See, when you come to FMA discussion, follow. You never know what you're going to get, man.
It's everything. It's everything, man. Yeah, yo, thank you guys. Thank you for all the comments as well, man. I really
Yeah, I
enjoyed
got.
reading all
I
the
lost
comments.
track, man. They were just
Yo,
flying in.
Dean,
Yeah.
you need to learn how to put their comments on the screen. I'm reading all these comments
I'm
and I'm
telling you,
like,
no, there's something going on with this plan because I used to be able to do it because one time I did by accident. I'm like, oh, that's a neat feature. Now it's not. Matter of fact, it's saying comment assistant off, and it's not giving me any option here to turn it on. And when I
come
do
on.
hit it, it's saying you need to upgrade. So what I have to do is I'm contacting them more now that my day is kind of slower tomorrow,
Okay.
and I'm going to see, hey, look, I have this plan. Why am I
Yeah.
not? Why is it not enabling me to post the comments? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that would be a game changer for FMA discussion when people comment and you can bring them onto the screen.
Yeah,
And
I'm
even
gonna.
if you don't address it, you just bring it on there. Like,
Mm,
yeah, because guys, I read each and every comment personally, and I couldn't respond to all of it,
I
obviously.
tried, but
So
they
thank
were
you.
booking in there. So
Yeah. I noticed that you're pretty good though after the podcast. You go in there and you answer questions
yeah,
and things like that.
yeah. There's something that I tried to. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always try to go back and yeah, thank people that always watched and commented.
Mm.
I always am grateful for people to take the time and watch and comment.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but
Well, Dean Branco,
I
thank you for
appreciate
the
it as
opportunity.
always that you doing this. Thank you so much, and thank the family for borrowing you for a couple days.
No problem, bro. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Dean. I'm going to take off, guys. Thank you
All
again
right,
so much.
you
And
take
again,
care.
representing Team Canada, which
Yeah,
is
there were a lot of
becoming a
tips as well.
destination, man, for FMA. We're doing some things here. So
Most
keep us
certainly
in
are.
mind. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All
See
right,
you,
be
Dean.
good.
Thank you,
Take
brother.
care. All right, who is next? Guru Tom Pena has a fellow from England who I just can't remember his name, and they just did the test run today. But that's tomorrow, and I believe it's at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Looked pretty interesting. I saw the test run. If you guys got nothing else going, check it out. After that, I'm going to have Mike Cardenas. Yeah, I believe Friday night. And also, we're kicking off the Christmas raffle, $10 a ticket. All is going to charity, kid related, and that. So please consider it. Matter of fact, if you check on the post that's pinned in FMA discussion, you'll see some of the donated items already. So if you can help out, again, it's all going to a great cause. Let us know. Also, if you have things you can donate, we're still taking donation for prizes as well. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for if you jumping in, commenting. If you haven't already, please subscribe to FMA Discussion. All the money that we take in, again, also goes to charity. We don't keep anything. All right. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.